Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raity's Rides, and I am at the May edition of the DuPont Cars and Coffee event. And this one happens to be at the Peter O. Knight Airport. Extra big space for a lot of extra cars. And I have a very, very special Corvette behind me. I have the all new 2019 Corvette ZR1. If you don't know much about the ZR1, let me give you a little bit of history lesson. Corvette's been around since 1953, guys. What's interesting is that guess what? Those early Corvettes back in 53, available in one color, white. The only difference between this one and those old ones when it comes to paint is that this is white with red interior. Other than that, there's not one similarity because that first Corvette had a straight six with about 160 horsepower. This thing has a V8, but not just a V8, supercharged 755 horsepower. This thing is mind blowing. Now, let me give you a little history lesson about the ZR1. If you're wondering, well, ZR1, where did they get that letters from? What does that mean? The ZR in ZR1 stands for Zora's Racer. What happens is that there was a guy by the name of Zora Arcus Duntub. He is considered the father of the Corvette. He's the man that took a V8 and put it in the Corvette back in 1955. So to honor him, in 1970, when he was still in charge, he came out with a very special edition ZR1. They only made about 25 of them, and it was a Corvette that was very high performance. Fast forward through the 80s into 1990. ZR1 came back. In 1990, it was known as the King of the Hill. It was the first Corvette to go over 180 miles an hour. It was the first Corvette to also be non-pushrod. It was a overhead cam design engine that was made by Lotus and Mercury Marine in conjunction with General Motors. Then once you get into 2009, the ZR1 is back after its demise in 1995. The main difference, though, the 2009 ZR1 had that supercharged 600 horsepower V8. Now, fast forward to 2019, like I said, 755 horsepower. Let's take a look at the front. When it comes to styling, this is going to separate you from the normal Stingray run-of-the-mill Corvette crowd. Check out the front end of this car. Not only is it aggressive, but it's purposeful. This car has a total of 5 radiators. Yes, you heard me correct. 5 radiators. Think about it. 755 horsepower, lots of extra heat. We're looking at 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds, guys. 2.8 seconds. I really am in love with the carbon fiber front lip spoiler down here. I love all the openings for all those radiators. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting by this car here. I could feel the heat resonating off the front of the car. Very, very well done. And I like that it's in white. The reason why I like that it's in white is I'm not the biggest fan of white, but it really shows off the lines of the front of the car. And I think that's where General Motors went wrong back in 1990 to 1995. The ZR1 looked too much like a standard Corvette. And guess what? To the untrained eye, this may look like a Stingray to you, but you can see this is automatically going to be different from the Z06, the Grand Sport, and the Stingray right off the front. The next piece is going to be this hood. Now, what's amazing about this hood is that when it opens, it's cut out. This part actually stays because that is on top of the engine where the supercharger is. Because this runs a larger supercharger than the standard Z06. Because remember, Z06, 650 horsepower, it's also supercharged. And 650 horsepower is nothing to, be shy about. But with this car, because of the extra power, it's a bigger supercharger. What Chevrolet decided to do to try to get around that is when this hood opens, this is all going to open with the hood. This part stays. So it's kind of cool because this is the actual engine. When you're driving this car, it's actually going to move a little bit. And that kind of goes back to the 1960s with the shaker hood option that was on certain cars back then. You could see the nice carbon fiber. And like I said, directly underneath this is the supercharger. I like the work that Chevrolet did to get this to fit. I like the way they took the ZR1 emblem and put it up there to let people know that maybe aren't in the know that this is not your standard Corvette. Let's go ahead and take a look at these wheels. These wheels are ZR1 specific. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of chrome, so that's probably going to be a zonk that I would put against this ZR1. You could actually get this in a black finish, which to me just really looks, I don't know, more racier or I don't know. I guess I'm just not really into chrome at all. So, but anyways, you could get these in a nice black finish, but these are finished in chrome. You could see the carbon ceramic brakes and then you're running huge 6-piston rotors. So these wheels are ZR1 specific. I like the way it has the ZR1 embossed in the wheel. And I'm telling you, the setup on this, with this brake setup, you could actually do your track days, do your autocross events. You don't have to worry about that brake pedal at the end of the day. This thing's going to be able to stop on a dime and give you change back. I really like on the corner here. Now, this is a Corvette specific. You go throughout the decades of Corvettes, they're always going to have some type of venting on the side. With the newer Corvettes, it's all functional. You go back to the Ford generation, those Ford generation vents were not functional. But this is another ZR1 specific, all finished in beautiful carbon fiber. The weave that Chevrolet is using, very, very nice touch. And this is another thing to let you know that this is not your standard Corvette. Check out the lower sills down here. Here's another thing. Now, you can get these lower sills on a Z06 or a Grand Sport, but these are really nice carbon fiber. If you've always wondered what's up with this cutout right here, that's so when you get out of the car, your passenger or you on the other side does not hit this and make contact with your foot. That's why they did that. Now, one place I think that if I'm going to give another zonk on this car is this vent right here. This should be carbon fiber. This is a ZR1. At the end of the day, you're looking at $120,000, $140,000 car. Got to have the carbon fiber to match it down here. So maybe right there is a place where they could change it, but no big deal. Look at this interior. I am very, very happy with what Chevrolet is producing when it comes to interiors nowadays. I love these seats. These are their special sports seats. I like the carbon fiber trim there. I love the blue stitching. Remember, if you go back to 2009, the ZR1 was given the nickname, the code name Blue Devil, because when they were designing the car, they didn't want anybody to know, hey, this is a ZR1. So they gave it a code name, Blue Devil, and that's why they brought that blue stitching into place. Another thing with Corvette interiors, whether it's a ZR1 or even just a standard Stingray, they've really upped their game with the quality of the fit and finish and really brought it up to standards of a Porsche or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, where if you go back just a few years ago, you wouldn't find that. Check it out, carbon fiber roof. Yes, you can get carbon fiber roof on a Z06 and whatnot, but this one also has it standard, of course, on a ZR1. They did go ahead and do the carbon fiber on the venting here. Remember, these vents are not for brakes. This car has a transaxle. What that means is the transmission is in the back of the car. This is cooling to help cool those different components. Now, this particular ZR1 is optioned with the lower spoiler. You could actually go more aggressive with the rear spoiler. With the lower spoiler, still high enough, you can go higher. What I like what Chevrolet did is they actually designed it so that you could actually still open up the rear hatch and get in without the spoiler being in the way. Because remember, the spoiler does not raise up. Outback is going to look just like a Z06, same Z06 taillights, same rear bumper. Obviously, here's where it says it all, ZR1 on the back end of it. But this is all going to be your standard Z06 affair. If it was possible, it'd probably jack up the price to over 200 grand. This lower black piece in carbon fiber would be mind blowing if they were able to pull that off. But like I said, I think when it comes to price point and all that kind of stuff, they had to draw a line somewhere. Let's go ahead and swing around to the driver's door just to give you a feel of what it's like to get behind the wheel of the ZR1. I really, really love this steering wheel. If Tom could show you, they brought the carbon fiber from outside, inside to the car, all carbon fiber trim on the dash, beautiful carbon fiber on the steering wheel. Very, very nicely done. I really, really like what Chevrolet is doing with their quality of materials and, really making you feel like you're in a special car, because at the end of the day, this is a low number production car. It's something that's special. Here's another thing, if Tom could show you, just to give you a reference point of how much higher this front part of the car is compared to a Z06. I'm putting my hand underneath here. You can see how much higher this is sitting. So that's going to tell you that that supercharger is larger. And that's why this car, over 212 miles an hour, it's a Corvette. I'm a Corvette fan. This is a Corvette that's just mind-blowing. It's the highest performance level. We are going to see, where's the Corvette going? There's work on a mid-engine Corvette. Are the traditional Corvette enthusiasts going to embrace that new Corvette that comes out? Hey, if you look over history, there have been complaints with other manufacturers when they made some major changes to their lineup. So we'll see at the end of the day. But anyways, if these are the types of things you like to see on Radius Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you have not hit subscribe yet, listen, all these people I know around here have. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I don't know where this journey's going, but it's a lot of fun, and I like bringing these awesome cars to you guys. Anything in particular you want me to vlog about or feature on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. Check out my Facebook page and Instagram, both Raiti's Rides, original content all the time. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.